Yo, this is Duke, and welcome back to our Muscle Building 101 series. This is part three, and this is us starting our journey. So, we've discovered our why, we made our decision, and now we want to get into the process of starting this journey. Now, like I said before, we want to ease into this journey, and my first recommendation is basically studying the proper form and biomechanics of you, your body, and yourself. I've been personally lifting weights since I was 14 years old. I'm in my 30s now, and right now I never think I know how to lift. I still go back and watch the videos on how to squat, on how to deadlift, on how to bench press, on how to overhead press, on how to do the bend over rows, on how to do the leg extensions, on all the exercises and the movements, because you never want to get into the mindset that you know how to do these different things. As you put on more size or lose weight or whatever journey you may be engaging on, I know this is a muscle building journey, so we'll stick to that. When it comes to you putting more size on, you will be putting more muscle on, and it will change some of your biomechanics to a little extent, where you will have to change the way you set up for a bench press or a squat or a deadlift or any of these movements, because you will have to acclimate yourself to where your body's putting on more muscle to still lift effectively and to protect yourself when lifting. So you never want to fall into that mindset of that everything about it just because you've been doing it for such a long time. Always go back and study the techniques. I do it every single day. Every single day before every lifting week. I always go back and review, or a day before I'm going to be engaging in that body part. I'm looking at the main movement and studying it, how to brace and how to do all those things. Even though I already know it, still just make sure you're keeping yourself safe, because that's the main overall thing. You want to do this for a long process and do it long term. You always want to look at how to set up and do proper form and proper technique. Now, before we even engage in that, we want to look into the simple things of our own body, which is basically our own biomechanics and our own lifting mechanism. Now we're gonna have to know the form of all the movements. They're all simple and straightforward. But as but sometimes you'll notice that the levers are different on our bodies. Some people will be able to squat much more deeper. Some people won't be able to squat that deep. Some people will be able to bench press all the way down to the chest. Some people won't. These are different things that make us unique, and they're nothing to it's nothing for you to get upset about. You want to always work in accordance to your body and where you're comfortable. And you want to, in the muscle building process, make sure you keep tension on the muscle. So it's not so much as about you going squatting all the way down to the ground just to say you squatted all the way down to the ground. Keep the tension on the muscle that you're working. Yeah, you have to go a little more deeper to hit the glutes and the hamstrings on a squat. But if you're just going and you want the squat to just hit your quadriceps, then you just squat. You don't have to squat too deep to engage that muscle group. Same thing when it comes to the bench press. You want to engage your chest muscle and keep the tension, keep the weight tension on the muscle rather, while you're lifting, so you don't have to come all the way down to touch your chest. You're not competing. When people write those types of comments or say those types of things, they're mostly talking about people who compete. You go all the way down to the ground, you come all the way up, and there's a reason why those people are only very popular for about 2 years, because after that their body's erect. The knees are wrecked from swatting all the way down to the ground. Elbows and shoulder problems have become an issue with their bench, so they can't bench the way they used to. And the same thing comes with the deadlifts. When they're being reckless with that, they got back issues and glute and hamstring issues. From that. So we're lifting weights to do it as long as possible. So we're just engaging the muscles that we have to engage all these movements. We're not competing. We don't have to go all the way down. We don't have to bounce the weight off your body to get a lift. You're doing this as long as possible so you can take care of your body. You want to lift weights or do resistance training as long as possible to help you be on your own, be able to take care of yourself as long as possible while you're here on this earth. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to talk about just the kinesiology, just making sure you study the muscle groups. Just certain, little quirks such as that, just to make sure that you're engaging the proper muscle and hitting the proper muscle when it comes to doing these exercises. So before you even engage in going to the gym yourself or any of these exercises, just watch videos on them. The proper form, how the way to grip the bar, where's the tension supposed to be, where you're putting all your strength, how things are supposed to be aligned, where's the bar path, How much, like, where you're supposed to be putting your much energy and your force and your power, where you're strengthening from while you're doing these lifts. These are all the things that I want you to look into before engaging into the workout process. Or before you engage in lifting weights. You don't want to just go into the gym and just do what you see other people are doing. You want to study this for yourself and find out the proper form and technique and setup for yourself, and try those techniques, because you can go to 3 different teachers that tell you 3 different things about a squat or a bench press or a deadlift or any exercise that you're looking to engage in. So what you want to do is watch videos, and you want to practice these lifts at home by yourself. You don't need weights to do them. You can do them free weight, just with your own body, and just set yourself up. Make sure that the muscles are tensed and braced as they're supposed to. Make sure you're bracing in the correct area so you can protect yourself and stay upright, and you're not injuring your back or any other side, or your stabilizers that will help you with the movement. So yeah, be patient with yourself. Like I said before, you want to go as slow as possible when it comes to this. You may take it day by day or week by week, where you may delve into like the squats and study the squats and find out which squats will be more comfortable for you. It may not be the back barbell squat. It may just be you having dumbbells to your side, or dumbbells on your shoulders, or with your arms straight down and just doing a squat that way, or lunges, or whatever movement you may look into doing. So that's why I encourage you to just do your research on the movements. How the proper way to do it, the proper form, the proper way you breathe, when to inhale and exhale, all these different things. I looked into, and always look into. You want to protect yourself as much as possible when it comes to lifting weights or doing any form of resistance training. Like I said before, we get into any programs or any lifts or any crazy things like that, we want to take it slow and build a proper foundation. That's what these videos are. You're discovering your why you want to do this. You making a decision to start allocating time for it. And now you looking into the proper ways of performing these movements. These are the things that people don't really tell people. They just tell you to get down and bench press because they figure that you've seen it so many times and do it. But most of the people that you see in the gym are doing the movements wrong. That's just the truth of the situation. People are just doing what they saw other people do. So that's why I'm telling you to study your own biomechanics that may work for you. That means you studying a video on a form, them teaching you how to do it, and tweaking those to your body so that you can work for your body type, and so that you can prevent injury happening to you. And this would be for every movement. And you can perform all of them at the house and setting yourself up. And then when you go to the gym and perform these movements, you'll get more kind of like how it actually feels to perform the movement in real time. And you'll know how to adjust there on the fly without hurting yourself and staying safe and putting on muscle. Because the other thing that people don't tell you is that when you perform these movements safe, you put on muscle even faster. So, lifting wrong, you'll definitely see the downsides of it, because you won't have proportion to your body. You'll cause more pain to your body, and more of a setback from your body. You'll be sore for longer than you have to be, and more than likely you'll probably be injured from that, and not even realize that you're injured because you're so sore. So learn the proper forms of these movements, and how to grip the bar, how to position the bar, how to stabilize yourself, how to stay upright, how to brace in the proper areas so that you can breathe appropriately and lock out your movements when you're supposed to lock it out, and keep the proper tension on the muscle. You will build muscle that much more faster, and this whole journey of putting on muscle will just become that much more of a good adventure for you, instead of something that you're sitting back and waiting for when to get stronger and all these different things. Training for 10 years, you don't have to train for 10 years and then see your results. You can't put on new muscle relatively fast if you're a person who never worked out before, or if you're a person who have been coming to the gym for a long time, and you haven't really paid much attention to the techniques and the things that you're doing. I think this would be a good series for you. You will find out, just setting up the right way and doing things the right way to just put that muscle on that you've been trying to put on, that you feel that you've been failing at growing. Only thing you have to do is tweak things to your body type, and your biomechanics, and you will put on that muscle relatively fast, man. And it'll be something that's fun. It'll be an adventure for you, and you don't have to worry about getting injured and all these different things. And the only time you'll have to worry about changing is when you get to the point of, I would say, optimizing your lifts. But that's mostly when it comes to like mixing powerlifting into that bodybuilding system, and they'll be, like I said before, all the way down the line, somewhere far deep ahead. Because optimizing your lifts, you're basically setting yourself up to almost get close to your 1 rep max of lifting the heaviest weight. But those, like I said again, that's further ahead of the line. Right now, we're just looking into basically just setting up, setting up the techniques, learning how to perform the techniques. Like I say, do it before at home. Give yourself 2 to 3 weeks, or even a whole month, just to run through the movements each and every day before you sign on to a gym or before you buy a pair of dumbbells and set up your own home gym and begin performing these movements. Make sure that you are engaging the correct muscle groups. You're performing them on the right tempo. That way, you can engage in hypertrophy and put on the muscle as you need to put on the muscle, and you will see the growth that you want to get in the muscle groups that you're targeting. Because if you ignore this, then you're just hurting yourself and setting yourself back, and basically just not falling into the process of you building up your body. It becomes more of a nuisance and troublesome for you to do so. So study these movements, study these proper forms, correctly, and then when you engage with them with weights, you will know how to adjust them to your body type and know how deep to come down and how to keep the muscle tension on your muscle, the weight tension on your muscle, so that you can engage in hypertrophy. All right, that's what I want to cover for this video. It's just basically us starting. Peace.